we get Charles Darwin. But remember, he doesn't publish his work until the 1860s. But 1821 is when he actually takes his trip. Now, if we continue on, okay, so you still have got stuff over here, Catherine the Great. You've got Ottoman continuing to decline. You've got South Asia continuing on. Spheres of influence here in East Asia. We have our first Opium Wars in, what am I going to say, 1838 to 42 is Opium War I. Remember, these are the humiliating treaties. And my second favorite word, extraterritoriality. Which looks a long word. This obviously then leads to, remember, our Taiping Rebellion. Which the whole point of the Taiping Rebellion was to oust the Qing dynasty. It was ultimately suppressed. Also in East Asia, well actually, okay, wait, let's get to the 1850s. We're not quite there yet. All right, let's go to Africa. Okay, Africa in 1805 is where we have Muhammad Ali. Egyptian independence, but not for long, because who comes in to take it over? The British, because why? They want to secure the Suez Canal. What? Wow. Also, this is where we have the end of the slave trade. Not like slavery's gone, but the actual legal trade of slaves ends from West Africa. Also, you see in South Africa, okay, you see, and this is what you need to remember. In South Africa, you've got a couple things going on. One that you need to remember is this guy, Shaka Zulu. And this was in your readings. We didn't really talk about him a lot. But the key with Shaka Zulu is he was the Zulu chief down in South Africa, okay? And the reason why you need to remember him is because at this point in time, you've got, you know, Western European nations being very imperialistic towards everywhere, right? Wanting to gobble up territory wherever they could find it for those raw materials for industrialization. Shaka Zulu took those principles of imperialism and started to apply them to his neighboring tribes. And he absolutely expanded his territory, gobbling up more of South Africa for the Zulu nation, exactly like the British did. Okay, and it's kind of an example of an African taking those principles of imperialism and those Western ideas, but applying them to his own world in Africa. So that's why he's a big deal to remember. All right, so now we're into like the 1850s. All right. Oh, let's go back to the Americas. So before we get to the 1850s, all right, so we've got 1831. Is where we have Brazil separates from Portugal. And this is a big deal because remember, Brazil's independence movement is very different from the rest of Latin America. It was more peaceful. It was the fact that the dad went home to run Portugal after they kicked Napoleon out, and the son stayed there, and you know there was very little fighting that went along with the Brazilian independence movement. Let's see, 1861 to 65 is the U.S. Civil War. cover with that. Due to a lot of the abuses of the Industrial Revolution, where we get Ippy's BFF, Marx and Engels.
No, Engels is alright. Engels gets the rockin' beard.
Alright. Uh, 1860s is where we have Garibaldi unifying Italy. Is where you get Wilhelm the First, but it's really my man Otto von Bismarck. Unify Germany. Huh? I know, I have a harem of historical names.
Every time we mention your man, we should just mark on the power or something.
Yeah, we should.
Is Mussolini one?
No, Mussolini is not one of my historical men. No, he's just not. It takes a very rare, special man to become one of my historical men that I
How
love.
many people do they have to kill?
Probably a lot. Alright, with Germany and my man Otto von Bismarck, you need to remember his whole policy of realpolitik.
Sounds French.
What?
Sounds French.
It does, but it's not.
Like
It's
Arabic.
Guys, you keep getting in the way.
Sorry.
Wow, Brittany. Such an angry
Lord.
person. All the
You
time.
paying attention? You spelled holiday wrong.
That's how you spell it.
I actually have stuff written down.
Alright, let's see here. In the 1850s, 1853 to be exact, is the Crimean War with the Ottomans. Well, remember, you've got Britain and France propping up Ottomans to maintain the balance of power. Because they couldn't figure out how to divide up the Ottoman territory. In the 1860s, you have Tsar Alexander II frees the serfs finally. And what did we get for it? A nice car bomb that blows him up. Yeah, I know.
That's great.
What happens?
He gets killed and assassinated in a car bomb.
That's pretty sweet. Oh, had this thing.
What?
How long did the Crimean War last?
Not very long.
Wait, wasn't the Black
Just
Hand?
notes right there. Huh?
Wasn't the Black Hand that killed Alexander?
No. Black Hand is the one that killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Okay. I'm jumping times.
We shall talk about the Black Hand in a week.
We heard the
Look
same.
at me predicting the future.
A
I
sandwich.
told you 84%
Oh my
The guy who was like supposed to drive the car, like the guy who shot right.
Yeah.
he
It was
went
like
to
early, so I went to the sandwich, and then he like ate it.
Oh.
manipulates to my mind.
Alright, in South Asia, and again, we didn't talk too much about this, but it's kind of key, is 1857 is what's known as the Sepoy Rebellion. Sometimes this is called also the First War for Independence with India. Who the Sepoys were is these were South Asian people, okay? So they're native Indian people that the British trained into their military, okay? So a lot of Indians felt that they were kind of traitors because they were working for the British. Well, ultimately, the Sepoys see the injustice, the discrepancy, the disparity between